This morning, we are going to be learning a bit more about recruiting in this digital age and how to find the right people and build the right team. I'm not used to Zoom at all, so just bear with me. I'm so used to Teams. Okay, so today, basically, what we're going to be covering in the next hour is attracting high-performance, value-driven talent, smarter ways to assess and interview candidates, building a strong, adaptable team culture, aligning with your hiring with long-term business goals, and sourcing hacks, Boolean string, X-ray search, and your essay job portals and other out-of-the-box methods of finding talent. And then at the end, we will take all of the questions and answers. So basically, in South Africa, we have a few challenges and a lot of changes in the way that we find people in the workplace itself. So first of all, we are suffering big skill shortages in the tech space, engineering and finance. Obviously, I don't know if many of you know, but the fintech platform since the days of crypto and making money online on social media has dominated the workspace, and a lot of our talent has left the country, and there is quite a gap in between junior entry level and middle management staff. Hence, so many learnerships and projects to upskill the youth today. Today, obviously, the workplace has changed and people are working on a hybrid basis and remotely. A lot of my clients have gone back to the office full time. A lot of people are finding that it just doesn't work. And it's very hard to manage teams or build cohesive teams in the hybrid and remote space. And also, it changes the candidate's expectations. When somebody has the freedom to work from home, to work remotely, to get people on board as team members, it presents a challenge. And there's a lot of competition for top talent today because of the skills shortages in this country. So attracting values-driven talent. Today, your brand is absolutely everything. It is imperative that at every single touch point of the brand, that you are attracting the right type of candidates. And today, if your values, your company values are not clearly defined and communicated in your brand values, it becomes very difficult because in this market, we have Gen Zs, we have millennials, and they will want to know, why should I work for you versus working with someone else? What have you got to offer? And many companies are finding it harder to hire top talent because of this reason. So your employee value proposition is, what do you have to offer the next person? Why should they work for you? What have you got to offer them? And never before has that become so prevalent. I get questions every single day from candidates asking, well, what are the benefits? Are there bonuses? Medical aid, provident? People will literally turn down jobs because the company doesn't have a clear employee value proposition. So showcasing your brand on social media and communicating what you have to offer, your employee value proposition, is absolutely imperative. Your social media presence and your content should be all around attracting the right types of talent. We have two types of talent, okay? We have passive talent and we have active talent. And in today's market, because of the way we recruit has changed, never before has it been more important to think out of the box when you're looking at trying to headhunt and bring on passive talent. Passive talent are people that are not in the market but have the skill. And so, how do we go about attracting that passive talent so we can pick up the phone to them or send them an email and make it worth their while? It all comes down to the employee value proposition. So, for example, Nando's. Okay, Nando's is very, very bold. All of their campaigns are values driven. You know exactly what their brand values are. You know what they have to offer in terms of benefits, being amongst the team. Even the way they write their job description is different. It's not your normal KPI, KPA job spec. Today, they're going much deeper and they are speaking into the hearts of top talent and being able to align their brand values very easily to people's values. And that today has become top of the list. So understanding your brand, what your brand has to offer a person if they come on board. Okay, so candidate and candidate persona mapping. So let's talk a little bit around, okay, we have skills, we have a person's values, and then a cultural fit. Absolutely, absolutely imperative. So you need to understand what is your value add. If you've got a candidate that has all the skills, that their values match and align with yours, they will fit into the culture. So, example, a mid-level digital marketer is passionate about sustainability. Okay, and I know that it seems like a long shot, that you would ask yourself, do people even really care about these types of things? There's a shortage of jobs per se, which that's a totally different topic that I will challenge because never before have there been more jobs. It's just people do not know how to align themselves to the job application. And today we have so much that can allow you to attract exactly what you want with the use of AI and the various sourcing hacks that I'm going to show you. So defining the skills, the values, and the traits that you are looking for in a candidate and not just putting together, oh, well, we want somebody who just got strong communication skills, strong organizational skills. Okay, it's got to be meaningful and it's got to talk to the heart and the persona of the individual that you are trying to attract to your organization. Okay, sorry guys, I don't know why. One sec. It's not moving for what? Hold on 1 second. Sorry. I'm not sure what is happening. One sec. I don't know why this is stuck. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay. So the objective is smarter assessment and interviewing. So when we are recruiting, the things that we need to be doing is, number one, putting structure to the interviews. Okay, so instead of through an interview and relying on your gut feeling, it's absolutely imperative that you have developed the competency-based questions where you can see that the candidate knows exactly what they are doing, testing skill. Behavior and situational interview questions. There are various methods of competency-based interviewing. The one is STAR, which is giving the candidate a situation, a task, an action, and a result, and being able to actually measure their level of competency. And then something that has become more and more prevalent are using skills tests, giving the candidates assessments, particularly in the marketing space. Today, you've got social media managers, you've got content creators, you have got account managers. So what is happening more and more, and I encourage my clients to do, is I encourage them to run assessments on the candidates before they've even interviewed them. Okay, building a strong team culture. Again, employer branding. To be very, very, very clear on what your brand is all about. And I know that you wouldn't think in a million years that candidates would actually really care about your branding. But in this market today, it's all about who's cool, and what's the next best trend. Within the organization is to use mentorship and buddy systems. Very, very big trend that is happening. And basically what is happening within organizations, one of my biggest clients is Toko-san. And for instance, what they do is, particularly at the hotel level, they will bring candidates in that are interns, and they will form a buddy system with somebody in management. So they will shadow that person. That's something that is starting to happen more and more and more. And recognition and feedback. How do you reward the people that work for you? How are you going to reward the people that work for you? How are you going to be able to communicate their performance back to them in a way that doesn't, number one, threaten if the performance is not up to standard? And how do we close that skills gap within organization and bringing on people at the right level in order for us to be able to attract top talent, mentor people within the organization, and recognize and reward performance. Okay, aligning hiring with long-term goals. So today, what we need to be doing is we need to be building talent pools. And so we've got to link hiring to your growth strategy. So it's important to know, okay, this is where we're at, this is the current reality, this is the vision. in between all of that, how are we going to get from A to Z, and what is the talent that we're going to need? What does that look like? And where do we go about sourcing these types of talent? So you don't go through, and a lot of small businesses, I go through it all the time. I continuously am having to build talent pools because the recruitment market today, people don't last. It's a very stressful industry, so I am constantly having to look for new, fresh talent. And in my industry, people freelance a lot. They're not wanting to come on board full time anymore. The Gen Zs and millennials are wanting to freelance, forecasting future skills. So there actually is, and I'm going to send you guys after this presentation. There's a video that I found on TikTok last night, and what's very, very interesting is to see the jobs that are going to be becoming redundant due to AI and the jobs that are going to be in demand. You will be shocked, completely shocked, to see the kind of jobs that are going to be coming more and more and more recognized. And panic-based hiring. So very often we get to a place as SMMEs where we're wanting to scale our business, and then comes, oh my gosh, I need another sales rep. Where do I go about finding this person? And so it is absolutely imperative, the same way that you have a marketing strategy, that you have a skills strategy, a hiring strategy, so that you are very, very, very aware of where to find the kinds of people that would fit your brand and also have the skill set to work in your organization. Okay, so I'll try to be as interactive as possible here, guys. So passive sourcing. Passive sourcing is using your job boards, okay? Job boards, the PNets, Career Junction, Glassdoor, yes, they have their place, but today you're not going to find top talent there at all. Today, there are different techniques. The first one is Boolean string, which I'm going to demonstrate to you. The second one is X-ray searching, which is a website called recruitment.net. I'm going to demonstrate to you. And then what you will see at the bottom here of the screen are what they call browser extensions. These extensions sit alongside LinkedIn, and they give us access to candidates' email addresses and contact numbers. So I just want to go into Lucia. Right. So if you have a look to the right of the screen, okay, this is Signal Hire, this is Contact Out, and Lucia. Okay, these are browser extensions that you literally go and download, and they don't always give you numbers or email addresses, but most often they do. Lucia is paid for, but Lucia, you get quite a lot of free credits, especially when you come on board. You get 140 free credits. These extensions work out to about $37. The best one, the paid for one that I use the most is Signal Hire. And so Contact Out is free. There's also Rocket Reach. So if I click on there, it will or it won't give me a phone number. It says phone number not available. And so that's why we work amongst 3 different browser extensions. Okay. Right. Now we are going to go into recruitment.net. This is X-ray searching, guys. Okay, what this does is it takes something, and I'm going to demonstrate to you Boolean string searching, which are algorithms. And that is how we find candidates in this market. So as you can see, I haven't gone to one job board so far. And so if I was to be looking for a candidate that is not in the tech space, I'm not saying you can't find somebody that's not in the tech, that's in the tech space on LinkedIn. Okay, you can. So I use Recruitment across LinkedIn. Dribble, GitHub, Zing, Stack Overflow are skills repositories. I don't recruit in IT, but that is where you will find a lot or most of your IT developers or system administrators, people in that kind of tech space. Okay, so you can find people all over the world here. Obviously, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to be demonstrating finding somebody in South Africa. Okay, so Boolean string. Boolean string, there are 4 different commands. Okay, the first command is what we call parentheses, okay, which is inverted commas. Okay, so it's going to search everything in between the inverted commas. Okay, in this instance, it doesn't like the inverted commas. So what I'm going to do is I'm rather going to include it in my keyword search over here. Okay, so say we were looking for a marketing manager that comes from the hospitality industry and they have to have social media experience. What I'm going to do is in the job title, I'm going to say a marketing manager. Okay, sorry. Okay. If I'm specifically looking for a digital marketing manager, I'll put that in there. Then I click on show similar jobs. Then I'm going to go to location or keyword. Okay. If I am looking for somebody that comes out of hotels, casinos, and must be based in Joburg, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Boolean string. So I always put inverted commas in. So your parentheses is your first command in Boolean string. The next one is and. Okay. So now I want hotel and casino. All right. Or sports betting. Okay, so you've got your parentheses, your inverted commas. We'll search whatever you put in between the inverted commas. Then you've got and. Then you've got or. And as you can see, sports betting is 2 words, must go within the parentheses. And the last command, I don't really use it, is a wild card, which is a star, like that. Okay. I typically don't use the wildcard. You can put keywords to exclude. I don't use that at all. Education, I'm looking for somebody with a degree. You can look at a current employer. I don't use that at all. And you're going to hit find the right people on LinkedIn. And what it's going to do is can open this in Google, and here are all the people that will fit that criteria. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't find people, so you've got to think out of the box, and you've got to be very clear on your keywords. And then if I was to want to reach out to Lionel Chetty, what I would do is I will right click. I don't know if it's going to let me open so many, but anyway. And I would use Signal Hire, Lucia, or Contact Out to find his details. Often there will be a candidate's work email address. Okay, obviously we have to be very, very careful about sending people emails to their work address. So what I would usually do is I just type an email to ask them to contact me on WhatsApp. And most often they do come back to you. So Boolean string, X-ray searching are your best friends together with these extensions. When it comes to X-ray on the tech side, that is a whole different thing if we were going to GitHub and Stack Overflow. So this is a workshop on its own, but basically if I was looking for a candidate with Python and Java, okay, and we wanted them in Johannesburg, and then we would open that in Google. Now you know why I don't use these. And that is particularly because one has to understand the space that you are recruiting in. So I don't do tech, as you can see. So Python, PHP and Python, I would rather try and search across LinkedIn. The other thing that I have included for you into the presentation, there are links to all of these things, guys, on the presentation. So Trace, I will send that to you. The other thing that I also included for you on the presentation was a job spec template. And I'll quickly run through that. It's a very, very in-depth job spec template if you are looking for talent. Just hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm just going to open that up for you. There's a link on the slide. So this is if you are planning on recruiting anybody, this is probably the most intensive exercise that you will ever go through, and answering all of those questions that I spoke about, especially your brand values, your company background, are there any parent companies, years of experience required, the day-to-day responsibilities, what is this person's day going to look like, the salary range, if your candidate is on X amount, would you offer, if it is salespeople, your commission structure, the company benefits, if you do offer, the most important requirement, essential skills that you cannot do the job without. So there's a link to this, even competency-based questions that you can draft over here using the methodologies that I have suggested. So there is a link to that. The thing that I just quickly want to go to very, very quickly is ChatGPT. Okay, so ChatGPT is amazing when it comes to looking for staff in a particular place. Okay, so what I would typically do is, when I am working on a job spec for a client, is I will say, I'm just going to use an example. I am now recruiting for some of the top country clubs in South Africa, and I would say, write me a list of the top country clubs in South Africa and the names of the sports or golf managers. And if you haven't used ChatGPT before, just so that you know, ChatGPT will start to, if you use the voice part of ChatGPT, ChatGPT will start to recognize the way that you speak. So something that we use ChatGPT for is when we are writing job specs, because it's a service that we offer to our clients as well. What you can do is you can go and copy that job spec template into ChatGPT and ask it to complete as much of the information that it can to write the job spec. Okay, if you have never put key performance indicators together before, or KPAs, key performance areas, then ChatGPT is one of the best places you can do that. So I'll just go Control A, Control C, and I'll go to ChatGPT and hold on. I'm going to move that out the way. Okay. What I'm going to say is complete the job spec below for a sports golf manager at T Country Club, and give me 3 competency-based questions to ask a candidate in the interview outline the KPIs and KPAs. Okay, and hit enter. And there it is. Sorry. Okay. And there it is. That exact job spec template with absolutely everything in there. And there's your KPIs, your KPAs. There are your 3 competency-based questions. And off you go. And if you have a look, ChatGPT says, if you like, I can also create a short list of technical golf sports management screening questions. And we say, we just copy and paste that. And put that in there. Oh gosh, sorry. But you can get the gist of it. Create. And in this instance, ChatGPT becomes your best friend. And it will always prompt you to, if you want to go on to do various other questions. But AI today, I retype CVs into my own format. So I take the candidate's CV, I paste that, I paste the job spec, and I say, write me a detailed interview highlighting the candidate's qualifications, KPIs, KPAs that are in the job, and it gives me the most beautiful document.